welcome to Live at 5 on Tuesday, October the 4th, with a very special guest.
The what?
With a very special guest.
Oh, it's very. Alix Korey's here. Fiddler on the room. Yenta's here. I've loved Alix Korey for a very long time, so I'm very excited to talk to her.
You also talked to...
Yeah, I got up super early today. Well, that means like a half hour earlier. It means I had to be somewhere at 9:30 instead of 10. Because Sutton Foster is doing Sweet Charity. They're 1 week into rehearsals, and they had a little event today, and I got to talk to Sutton and the rest of the stars. And I'm so excited to see this production now. Unfortunately, they didn't actually do, numbers. They didn't do any of that stuff. They didn't perform it. But I got to see like the size of the stage, because they were in rehearsal. It's so small, intimate, 3 sides. It's going to be crazy to see what is typically such a big musical comedy done in such a cool, intimate space. And we talked a lot about taxi dancers. Do you know about taxi dancers?
No.
Well, Charity Hope Valentine is a taxi dancer, which really means she's a stripper doing lap dances in the back.
Right.
But, they're going to really explore that side of it, because a lot of times it's sort of, in the 60s, it wasn't necessarily like the main plot point.
That wasn't what I remember from the movie when I watched it as a child.
And the other really fun thing I found out is that Sutton just kept saying in interviews that she wanted to do this role. So finally, somebody came to her and said, well, let's do this role. So she got the part and the rights by just bringing it up in interviews all the time.
Now, we keep talking about this, and I often ask people what their dream role is for this very reason, because it happened to Norm Lewis with you. He said to you, I want to be the Phantom. He was putting it out there. They got wind of it on the production, and guess what? He was then Phantom.
See that? We're going to secret some stuff with Alix Korey in a little bit.
Yeah. It's all good.
So anyway, I'm super excited for the show. It's going to be great.
And yes, a break later, Jennifer Holliday, who begins tonight in the Colour Purple.
Oh my God, is that tonight? It's all happening.
It is all happening. All right, Sunday.
Sugar Avery's coming to town again.
She is. Now, Sunday in the Park with George, I don't know if you saw this casting, but it was ridiculous.
I have just been plotting all day how I'm going to actually get in to see this thing.
Because this is insane. So this, of course, is the City Centre production with Jake Gyllenhaal and Ali Ashford, which is running October 24th through October 26th. So hard to get tickets. Joining them, though, announced today, Carmen Cusack as Yvonne, Zachary Levi as Jules, Ruthie Ann Miles as Frida, Felicia Richards as Old Lady, Brooks Ashmashank, I can't say his name. Thank you. As Mr. Philip Boykin as Boatman, Gabriel Eppert as Franz, Kevin Elder as Soldier, Lisa Howard as Nurse, Lisa McCartney as Mrs. Gabriella Pizzolo as Louise, and Lauren Wisham as Celeste.
Now, can I just say, I saw Carmen Cusack play Dot with Jason Daniely in Chicago, the Chicago Shakespeare. So I saw her play Dot, which was amazing. So to see her name attached to it, is she's playing Yvonne. She'll be fabulous as that too. And Annalie Ashford's going to be a great Dot. Anyway, it's just an abundance of talent.
It's utterly insane.
Good luck seeing it. Good luck getting in.
Yeah. Okay, meanwhile, there was a very funny Watch It that Ryan McPhee has just done. Talk us through this, Paul.
Roderick Hall.
Yeah.
So Todrick Hall is going into Kinky Boots as Lola. He also does these great web videos. He is a judge on RuPaul's Drag Race, one of my favorite TV shows right now. All Star season is happening. He is a judge. So they do lip sync. They do Lip Sync for Your Life, right? Now they're doing Lip Sync for Your Legacy, but that's too much information. Lip Sync for Your Life is the famous thing. So they did an amazing video. They just released it of Todrick coming out as Lola and lip-syncing Land of Lola in front of all the judges, including RuPaul, Michelle Visage. It's amazing. So check that out. It's really great and really clever promotion for the show. So he starts November 1, I believe.
Yeah, soon.
Yeah, so anyway, excited.
Heisenberg has extended before opening. That will now play through December the 11th.
Right.
Odds and ends today. So Daisy Egan is back playing Martha. She played her in...
Yeah. So she played Martha at the last concert they did, and obviously originally she was, what's her name? The little girl. What's her name? Mary Lennox. And so now she's playing the adult role, and now she's actually doing it in a production, right?
Exactly. She's going to be doing it in DC and Seattle. I do wonder if a revival is slightly on the cards of that particular title.
Yeah.
Secret Garden. I mean, I do wonder if it is sort of inching its way back to Broadway.
I mean, the concert was really well received.
We'll see.
Ramin Karimloo was amazing in it.
Sierra was in it.
And Sierra, oh yeah, remember her? Sierra Boggess. How's she doing? Have we heard from her? She's still in Paris?
She's well. She is currently in Barcelona. However, of course, it's the Phantom of the Opera 30th anniversary in London next week.
Yeah, that's...
I have a slight little feeling that a certain Sierra Boggess might now end up being in London to help them celebrate.
Oh. Maybe you heard it here first.
Maybe
Maybe I shouldn't have asked.
Maybe I shouldn't have said that, but there we go. Okay, Leslie Odom Jr. will be doing a gig at LA's Valley Performing Arts Centre on November the 17th. Jane Krakowski and Titus Burgess will be singing in New Year's
Eve concert together
with San Francisco Symphony.
I mean,
that sounds fun. That does sound fun, doesn't it?
Now, could I celebrate New Year's here and then get on a plane and make it? No, that wouldn't work. It's 3 hours earlier, but
yeah, but whatever. Okay, Blue Man Group have a book out. I mean, this is good stocking stuffer for those looking for presents for for loved ones. And okay, some videos we need to talk about. Deborah Cox previewing the Bodyguard.
Oh yeah, you get to see her sing the songs. Great.
Yeah. And then Carlotta.
Oh yeah, Michelle McConnell, who we love as Carlotta. She's been there over 5 years playing Carlotta. We did a character study video. You guys love those character study videos. We did one of those. She's amazing. I went backstage and shot it with her, and she's just, you just want to like hang out with her.
Yeah.
Like you just sit there and you're like, let's just hang out. She's like, I have a show to do. So we don't do that, but she's great.
We'd like to. All right,
we adore her. Okay, it's time for Miss Alix Korey, everybody. Please welcome her. Come on in, Alix.
Hi.
Hi. How you doing? Thank you for coming. You look lovely.
Thank you.
How is it going? How's the Fiddler on the roof going? I'm gonna lower.
I am short, aren't I?
No, it's good. I want to even it out. Even it out. How are you?
Yeah, and I am short. I'm fine. I'm fine and short.
She's fine and short. She's both.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that show is going well, huh? That's been a nice little hit for you.
Yeah, one of my few, as you.
I enjoy some of your non-hits, actually.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
I did too.
You've done a lot of great things, and I've enjoyed your career for many years.
Thank you.
And so it's so exciting to have you on Broadway. So it's been great to have you playing Yenta. Is this a role you ever thought about playing? Or?
I didn't, and then when I was offered it, I thought, oh, Yenta, that'll be interesting. And it's so much more of a role.
Yeah.
I really had an incredible time sort of developing the character.
Yeah.
Because our director was so extraordinary
Bart Scher, yes.
Bringing in people with a tremendous amount of information about Shalom Aleichem and the shtetls, and Sheldon Harnick told me the story of Yenta in the Shalom Aleichem because you can't find it.
Oh.
And it's not a funny story. It's pretty deep, and that also.
So all that is informing.
Yeah.
What you're doing.
Yeah, and so that it's not a role that happens, that becomes rote. It's fresh every night for me.
Yeah.
Which is very fun. And also, most of my scenes are with Jessica Hecht, and she's such a wonderful actress. So that's really pretty great, too.
That is a super happy group. I was actually backstage with Danny Burstein filming an upcoming character study video, top secret, but now you know. And just there's such a great feeling among that cast. Everyone I've talked to, it just feels like it's for real. And
well, I do think that that stems from Danny and Jessica. Because there's no, I'm supposed to probably look there, right? At the whatever,
it's
the
all
little
good.
thing.
It's all good.
Yeah. But there's no diva behavior, and they are fun people. They have tremendous senses of humor. And so what happens is people play and have a great time, but not on stage. On stage, everybody stays in the piece, and I think that's why it's happy.
Now, weren't you actually living on the West Coast?
I was
Was
living
that before this? Or?
Yes. I was my husband and I bought a house in Rancho Mirage.
Oh, I love Rancho Mirage. I love that area.
It's right near Palm Springs.
Yes, I know. I love the desert out there.
Yeah, and since we've always lived with a lot of gay people, we figured we'd retire with a lot of gay people, and we bought our house, but we were just a little too early to retire. So I've been working, and I got the call to do this. I had to audition. I had to send a video, which was not that easy for me. All of you fantastic young people who can do it in a second. It was a major Megillah.
Oh, it was a big production getting the video
made. That Yiddish word. My husband played Golda for me behind the camera. And I sent that in, and then they said, we love her, but she has to come in for a final callback. So I flew in on the red eye. I went to my audition. It was at noon. And I went back to the airport, and I got a call at 2:30 that I had it, which was really great because I hadn't told anybody that I was doing this except my husband, because as you may recall, I was cast in that Funny Girl that didn't happen.
Oh yes, you were in that Funny Girl. That was also Bart Scher.
It was Bart Scher.
Yes.
And we found out 2 weeks before we were going to go into rehearsal, and so I had told the world, or my sister had told the world, because if I tell my sister, then I get to tell the world. But I told everybody where I was living, and so when it didn't happen, you know, I started to get all these condolence things, and it was like freaking me out. I said, listen, I need to have my own little self-pity party here. I don't need to deal with everybody else's pity. So this time I didn't tell anybody until they offered the part, and I knew they had the theater, and I knew that Danny, I was thrilled to work with Danny because we've known each other for so many years, but never actually worked a show together.
Yeah, so the show's through New Year's Eve, then after this you go back to the desert? I'm
going to go back for a vacation, but I had to sign a lease on an apartment here till next September, and I have a wonderful young agent, Jed Abrahams, who says...
Oh, I know him. I like him.
Right.
Yeah, how you doing, Jed?
And he, you know what? He was one of my earliest students at NYU.
Oh, that's amazing.
See how things come around?
Yeah, you taught at Cap 21, right?
I did. And anyway, Jed says that he's going to get me a whole bunch of work.
Oh, okay.
And
Good.
then
Work
I'll be
on
able
that,
to afford the apartment.
Maybe a Netflix series?
That would be swell. I'll take any series, and I don't even know what all those
whatever that is. Whatever that is. A Hulu.
Hulu.
An Amazon. Something you could film out in the desert, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, something out there. That'd be good.
Yeah, that would be okay. But I'm enjoying New York again.
Oh,
I have to say,
okay.
When I left, I was very happy to leave, and I'm enjoying being back.
That's what's great about it, right?
Yeah.
So Lindsay asks, what's your advice to young actors? Do you have advice for when the kids? I mean, you obviously taught.
I do, because there's a lot of advice to be given.
Mm-hmm.
But some of I find that, for one thing, your expectations. Make your expectations realistic in the sense that there is no glamour.
Right.
If you don't love the work, don't bother, because there's no other reward except actually doing the work and rehearsing with people and reading new scripts and learning new songs. So it's the process that's so fabulous. So unless that process is fabulous for you, it is filling and thrilling, don't bother. There's nothing else that comes with it. You know, anybody now can be famous for a few minutes, and it doesn't mean anything. So I do say that. I also say train. People don't stop. I was coaching up through my 30s. I know people who are in their 40s and 50s, and they're doing magnificently with TV series, and they still go to acting classes. People who are stars, if they want to audition for something, they call a coach and say, help me do this.
Right.
So absolutely be prepared. Be prepared. Also, I think don't be afraid to ask for help, because this is not a business where somebody just says, hey, let me give you this, or hey, I want you for that. You have to ask. I didn't do a lot of that, and I probably missed out on some things because I I had too much hubris.
Right.
Figuring, oh, well, if I was good,
Wait
they'd
around for
just
things
ask
to
me.
happen.
They,
Right.
yes,
Right.
don't wait for things to happen.
Right.
Because most of the time they don't.
So David just asked, what was the favorite role you've ever played other than Yenta? You've done a lot. You've done a lot of
Yes.
great roles.
I loved Fanny Bryce.
That's a good one.
I loved playing her because it's such a journey.
So where'd you play her?
I played her in summer theater
Mm-hmm.
and dinner theater
Mm-hmm.
and summer stock.
Everywhere
Oh,
they
I
would
said
have
that
to.
already.
Yeah.
I played her for over 20 years though. The
Wow.
first time I did her I was 20 and the last time I did her I was 42 years old.
Amazing.
And the 42-year-old was kind of like, please God, can you just let a 17-year-old enter my body for the first act? Because it's a lot of work.
Did
I
you
love
ever?
that.
Did
I
you
love
ever
Wild
see?
Party too, doing
Oh,
that.
Wild Party. Yeah, you were in the Adina Menzel, Brian
Yes,
Stokes,
Andrew Lippa.
Brian Darcy James. I almost said Brian Stokes Mitchell, Tay Diggs, Andrew Lippa. Yeah,
Yeah.
and Manhattan Theater Club.
Yeah.
You were fabulous in that.
Thank you.
What was it like being with such a cool, sexy young cast, including
Yeah.
including you?
Actually,
Right, you were
yeah,
part of that.
I mean,
I love that face you gave me. It was so good.
no, darling, I've adjusted. I'm really like happy that, and you know what? Because I was never like the ingenue,
Right.
I can just stay a character person from 25 to 105, and nobody's gonna be looking for my facelift because I ain't gonna have it. But anyway, it was a great experience. Andrew's score is so incredible, and it's
Yeah.
one of the few CDs that I've made of shows where I actually listen to it
Yeah.
to listen to that score. So
Mhm.
if you do nothing else in terms of buying a CD, of course you should buy the Fiddler one, but find that
Yeah.
CD on
Julia Murney. I forgot to mention Julia Murney.
Oh,
How could I
yeah.
forget Julia Murney.
Yeah,
She was
yeah.
Queenie. She was a blonde. I loved you in, I told you this before, I totally like fanboyed out. I loved you in a little show called Ain't Broadway Grand, which was like, a couple years after I got to New York, that was playing at the L'Enfantin, and
You liked it?
it only played for like 2 months total, and I saw it like 5 times. I had no idea.
You liked it?
I loved the choreo. I loved
I
Andy
think
Skinner's
it's that-
choreography.
Oh, yes.
I loved you. You did a song, wasn't it? They'll never take
Take
us
us
alive.
alive,
I
something
literally
like that.
remember the song.
I'm glad you do. And you know what?
And the
you
title
know who
song?
I did it with was Mitch Greenberg, who's also in Fiddler.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, we were partners.
A Broadway Grand reunion.
Yes, yes. Well, it it had the greatest comic actors
Yeah, yeah.
of our time,
Yeah.
and
You had a great role.
I
you
had
were like
fun.
the sidekick, Gal Friday,
yeah, I like.
wisecracker. I loved
It's
it.
still my favorite first line in a show.
What was it?
It was Mike Todd says to me, Harriet, run and get the contracts in my office, and I look at him and I go, for what you pay me, I walk. And
I remember.
that's my favorite first line in a show.
Do you have a really memorable audition? What's your most memorable audition? I feel like I could do this for like 2 hours with you, but we can't keep going. But what's your most memorable audition? What comes to mind?
That's really interesting. I people ask that, and it's hard for me to remember the ones that were not good with like famous people sitting there who didn't pay any attention or
that's not good.
laughed or something, and I wasn't doing a comedy number. Then I basically would just go home and cry. I actually went to my therapist after one audition, and he said, "How do you know what they were thinking?" Which is something I started to teach. You don't know what they're thinking.
Right.
You don't know how they're reacting to you. I actually enjoy auditioning because I choose material that I have such a good time with. This probably is the worst one.
Okay.
But I've told this story before. So I was called to audition for Gower Champion for 42nd Street, the original.
Okay.
I don't tap. And I told my agent, I don't tap. And he said, they just want to see you. Go in and sing. So I went and I sang my very song I got jobs with for like 20 years. And it's,
What's that?
It's called What Do You Think I Am from Best Foot Forward. And it starts as a lovely ballad, becomes an up-tempo, has 2 funny lines, and takes a high note. And at the end. And Gower said, wow, that last note was a surprise. And I said, I got another surprise for you. I don't tap. And he said, oh, you're so charming. We're going to have you back. I thought that was over. My agent calls me again. He said, they called you back. They want to see you again. I said, David, I don't tap. He said, they said, do the same thing. I got there. I started the song. 8 bars. Gower cuts me off and goes, Alix, we know you can sing. We need to see your routine now. And I went, my routine? He said, yeah, some tapping. So I happened to be doing a show out at, I think, Paper Mill Playhouse where I had to do a little soft shoe. So I did that, and there was silence. And he said, yeah, you're right. You don't tap. And I said, well, thank you. And as I walked up the aisle, see, this is terrible. As I walked up the aisle, I said, oh, please, God, don't ever let me have to audition for him again. Well, the next thing I knew, the show opened, and he died. And I thought, damn, I've killed him. So that I would guess that would be considered my worst audition.
Wow.
It's a little grandiose.
Wow. That's a lot.
It's a little
That's
grandiose.
a lot.
But I would say it was,
Gower Champion did famously die while working on 42nd Street.
Opening night.
Opening night of 42nd Street.
And they did it for publicity, They
I remember.
announced it.
David Merrick loved the photo op.
Oh my God, it was horrible for that cast.
Why haven't you written a book?
I don't like being alone. I think writing is a very solitary art.
Sure.
I've written some songs, and they're good and they're well crafted, and people have sung them, and they say, why don't you write more new songs? Because you have to do it by yourself. And I like collaborating.
Okay.
So if someone comes and asks me questions and writes it down, great. Wonderful.
Oh, okay. All right, maybe I'm going to do that. Then I'm just going to keep asking questions. I adore you.
Thank you.
And so you're not using your house in Rancho Mirage for how many months? Is it empty?
It is empty.
Can I go borrow it, or?
Well, you can actually. It's huge. No, really, it's like we knew we couldn't afford anything in New York, so we took our savings and bought this huge house.
That's where Sinatra died, right? Rancho Mirage.
Very possibly, Bob Hope.
Yeah.
The Bob Hope Mansion is there. Yeah. It's Palm Springs is.
It's beautiful out there.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you're in New York.
Yeah, we could use a lot more like theater people out there, and because it's very Republican.
Right.
Right. And so Rancho Mirage is very Republican. So
yeah,
we
you'd be driving by a lot of Trump signs right
and
now.
a lot of white people. I mean, it's like
too many white people.
It's so white. So let's get some culture.
Okay, out in the desert. But right now, you are at Yenta for 3 more months.
3 more months, and then I'm counting on my agent to
right,
get
Jet's going to get to work. Jet said, well, he has 3 months. Come on, Jet.
Yeah.
So the final performance is literally on New Year's Eve. How exciting!
I don't know. I'm glad that we're at least 10 blocks from the ball falling.
Oh, okay, yeah, yes.
Crowds sort of terrify me anyway.
Oh, okay.
And I was thrilled when I found out that the show was not going to be in the middle of Times Square, my show. So I'm
sure the producers could arrange an airlift. They can just lift you right off the rooftop.
Fabulous?
Yeah, we'll work on that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
I love talking to you. Thanks for the kiss. And we'll see you tomorrow on Live at 5, everybody. Bye. Wave goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
I hope I didn't tell too many bad stories.